This man suddenly woke up from a bite. He removed the bandage from his eyes and was shocked. The next moment, he found himself stranded on a 1,000-meter high rock. A deep pit lay below. When he looked up, his parachute was tangled in a dead tree, which somehow saved his life. But the entire wall was slippery. Since it was a salt pit, how could he climb up? The man quickly took out his dagger and stuck it in his shoe. Then he pulled out 2 more daggers and forcefully jammed them into the salt pit wall. He tried to climb up with all his strength. He just wanted to escape this terrible predicament somehow, but with great difficulty he climbed only 2 meters. The flimsy dagger broke. He lost his support and started plummeting down. Fortunately, the parachute was still caught in the tree branches, but he breathed a brief sigh of relief. The dead tree couldn't bear his weight before him and began to tilt slowly. The man immediately tightened the parachute ropes, took out the dagger, and started cutting the rope quickly. Finally, just as the parachute was about to tear, he cut the rope and avoided falling. Now one leg pressed against the salt pit wall, and his hands clung somehow to the rock. In this situation, when he'd almost given up, his eyes drifted upward. A goat stood on the rock, quietly licking the salt. Seeing this, a spark of hope returned to his eyes. Forgetting everything else, he decided to imitate the goat. He used all his strength to wedge his hands into the rock cracks. The deep pit below made his soul tremble. One wrong move, and he'd plummet thousands of meters and shatter into pieces. But there was no turning back now. He positioned his hands and feet properly and slowly began to climb. After a long grueling ascent, he finally reached the protrusion, but he couldn't rest easy. Before that, the lower layer of salt crumbled. The sound of falling rocks echoed, and he scrambled upward cautiously. Finally, he leaped like a goat and jumped up. His hands grasped the rock's edge, but now his strength was failing. No matter how hard he tried, climbing up seemed impossible. Then a goat appeared from above and stared at him. The goat sniffed angrily, sensing he was an outsider. Without hesitation, it knocked the man down. Fortunately, the man still clutched the rock with one hand. He tried to climb up with all his strength, but the goat wasn't going to back down. It charged again. This time the man grabbed the goat's horns. The goat panicked and pulled back. In the struggle, the man hauled himself up and finally reached the rock's top. Collapsing to the ground, he lay there gasping. Then he slowly raised his hand, placed it on the goat's head and stroked gently. Peace and gratitude filled his eyes.